Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to open this up to you, the audience, to ask these folks questions. We've got a mic somewhere over here. So just raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll get the mic to you. So there's somebody up there with the, looks like chargers. Oh, okay.
No, actually, it's an O.J. Simpson jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Throwback. I wear it whenever
Old
I come
school.
to these. Yeah, I wear it whenever I come to these because money can get you out of anything when it comes to the justice system. That's been proven, all the way across the line. My name's Ryan Rising. My number is G30764. That's my CDC number. I was recently released August 12th, and I'm back here in San Diego. And it's a blessing to be here, and it's a blessing to hear what's going on. The recidivism rate, it's huge. I was released like Beto and like everyone up there. He didn't get his $200, but I got my $200 gate fee. Yeah, what they do is if you don't have no family picking you up, they actually put you on a Greyhound bus. They get you right off prison grounds ASAP. Put you on the Greyhound bus. And the Greyhound bus downtown here in San Diego, I'm not sure if you guys have been down there. Yeah, we get dropped off right there with $200. Actually, it's $108 after you spend $91 to get the ticket to come from New Folsom State Prison all the way down. You look to your left, and you see homeless tents. All types of homeless tents, all lined up right there. A bunch of homeless people, right? Well, now I'm a transient because I had no address to give my counselor in prison. So, that's a reality I have to look at, right? So I look over there, I see the homeless people, and then when I go to the right, I go to the trolley station, and there's every drug in the world right there. So now I have a choice. I can spend my money on the drugs right there, because in all reality, a hotel isn't feasible downtown right now. You know what I'm saying? With that type of money, $108, or I can figure it out. And that's what I did. I figured it out, right? I luckily, unfortunately, I have a little bit of family ties still that actually looked out for me. And I came and I got into City College. Now, I actually started the creative writing program up there in New Folsom State Prison. And that actually directed me to school. In 2011, I was in a brutal prison riot, one of the most gruesome prison riots in New Folsom State history. I almost got shot in the head by a Mini 14 twice that day. I almost died. And
okay.
When I started my college.
We want to have some other folks be able to talk too.
What I'm trying to get at, recidivism is going to boil down to this. It boils down to giving us housing. We come out here, we have no housing, so we go directly to these tent cities, and that's where we live. So in order to help us out with the recidivism rate here in San Diego, we need housing opportunities. We need that, and that's going to direct us to these resources of college, and that's going to direct us to what's necessary to survive and not go back to prison. And that's my suggestion.
Thank you very much, man. You're absolutely right, and that's just what Scott was saying.
And I'd love to talk to you afterwards. Let's chop it up. Yeah, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any other questions? Right there, actually, right up. Any questions for the panelists up here?
Yes, my name is Maria Morales, and I'm a student here at City College. And we hear students here who are actually going to school at the time have been having this conversation for the last 2 years. And my question is for you, because the programs that we're trying to start here on campus has been connected to how do we connect our people coming in from the system to our community colleges and with students? How do we do that? I love how you talked about the program with the housing and having them connected. How can we bring that here to City? Because as a club, there's only so much that we can do with no resources. We're having these conversations, and if you don't mind me, Laura, speaking a little bit on behalf, when we had our first meeting, she sat there in tears and thanked us for having this because it was the first time she felt connected. She had been to prison, and she said specifically, she was, I know how to do prison. I don't know how to do school. She goes, thank you for being here. So if we don't have these conversations and have these kind of offices opened up for students like us, what I remember is sitting in jail and my kids coming, my one-year-old daughter being pregnant. Those are the images, and if we're so disconnected from our students, we need to learn how are we going to reconnect now? How are we going to start talking about this issue more and actually implementing change for us?
That's an excellent question. I don't know if anybody wants to tackle that, but I can tell you one thing that we're working on here at City College is we have a program called Passport to Life, and we have it in the Harry West gym over here. And the last one we had 900 18 to 24-year-olds, most of them on probation, and we connect them to the programs that we have here at the college. And you know, it's pretty amazing to see some of those youngsters get their lives turned around. That's one thing that we're trying to do. We're not there yet. I mean, we're still learning. I mean, we're trying to do the best we can with some of that, but we can certainly learn from these folks too about how to make those connections, and we can learn from you.
So, I mean, I think you and the group up there who understands this, have lived this, have found success, for someone coming in directly out of incarceration, being tapped into what you are doing is going to be the key to their success. Feeling part of a community and not feeling like a black sheep or out of place, because you know the second you feel that, you're not coming back to class anymore, it's over. So feeling a part of a community of people that love them, that understands, that gets it, I think is going to be huge. So I would love to connect with your group because we're looking to partner with a lot of San Diego organizations and replicate the housing program at San Diego City College and be able to house 30 folks there who will all be going to school together and working together. And it's going to be so important to plug in to the expertise back in that corner and the love back in that corner. So I'm so happy you asked that question.
Yeah, thank you. Beto, Sharice, Jay, you want to say anything about connections, making connections?
No, I'm at UCSD. If you have anyone, you know, refer my way, we can help guide them there. That's all I can really say. Help them feel welcome.
I just wanted to chime in real quick. So you know, Jay talked about something earlier with respects to, you know, what he's doing and how he's paying it forward. And so you're doing the right thing right now. And so, you know, obviously if everything was laid out the way it was supposed to be that would work, then we wouldn't even be here, right? So, but these are the dialogues that need to take place for us to continue to move forward. You know, I didn't say this earlier, but I got an opportunity when I was an inmate firefighter getting paid $1 an hour to risk my life. The opportunity to get a state certification in water treatment, but I couldn't get a job when I got out because I was, I had multiple felonies, and so that's really what prompted me to come to college. And you know, I decided, well, while I wait till when I can get a job, you know, after so much time has lapsed, maybe they'll consider me. I'll beef up my certification with some science classes, and so that's what I did. But you know what? It now, you know, things kind of just change as you go, right? And so what I'm trying to get to is now for me, the reward is getting to be able to share stories and comfort somebody that's coming from a similar background, disclosing and sharing with them, hey, you know what, you're not alone in your struggles. We know what your needs are. You know, like Flaco just mentioned right now, you're aware of those things, and that's why we're being considered the experts, and that's why it's important for us to be advocates, and that's why it's important for us to be out there and get some work done. But it's not going to happen overnight, and it's definitely going to be a dialogue that continues to happen. But as long as we continue to be examples, then that's what we need to do, right? So people are constantly watching us and waiting for us to fail. They're waiting for us to fail, and you can't do that because when I think to myself, you know, I could easily go and drink a beer. I don't do anything because I've learned that I'm an excessive person. If I drink one beer, it won't stop. The party keeps going, and so I've learned that all my life. So I can't even have a beer, right? And it's not to say that I drink one, you know, that you know I'm going to turn green or anything, but I already know myself. And knowing myself, I don't set myself up for failures because then I ruin it for all of those generations and all of those individuals that are coming up right behind us.
I got a real quick, my man in the OJ jersey. I mean, I can't stop thinking about your experience. I know how brutal New Folsom is. I was at New Folsom 2 weeks ago. I was standing in the middle of B yard, on the yard for an hour. Like, I know what you've been through. I haven't lived it, but I know it. If you can come out from a place like that really is made to break you, that is not a pretty place. That's not a place of rehabilitation. That's a place of just pure hammer. And you can make it on this campus, and you can continue to do what you're doing right now. and surround yourself with the people you're surrounded by and stay in school and keep doing this, you're going to be one of the greatest leaders on this campus because you've been through it. So I just wanted to like take my hat off for you that you could have bought that dope at the trolley station. You could have gone to Tent City. You could have given up. It would be much easier for you to give up. And somehow, and I don't even know how it's possible, you found your way to City College, and you're doing it. So I just wanted to take my hat off to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other questions? Right here.
So your program is to help out prisoners come out and go to a rehab home, right?
Not all are going into housing, but yes, some are going to housing, some need a job, some need to go to school, some need therapy. Whatever their needs are, our job is to make sure they get those resources and succeed.
All right, so I got a different solution because what I feel is that we should have like people go into elementary schools and talk to these youngsters like mentors and help them before they get into the gangs, you know? That's what I feel.
You're right.
Because when I was in elementary school and I went to junior high, that's when I started getting to know the gang members, you know? When I was 14 years old, I had met them. Before you know it, man, I got struck out with 25 to life. I had 225 to life. I got out, they changed the law because the people of California changed the law. Now, I'm going to UCSD. I'm going to San Diego State, and I'm coming here. I'm right here, too. I got 3 classes here, 1 at State and 1 at UCSD.
That's right, baby.
Congratulations, man. We're proud of you.
So,
I did 17 years, I had 25 to life. 17 years I did. I was at Pelican Bay.
are you Prop 36?
What do you mean?
Did you get out under Prop
I
36?
got struck out on a petty theft. I got two 25 to life. I walked in J.C. Penney's with $32 in my pocket, and the DA didn't want to give me a deal, man. He wanted to take me to trial with $32 in my pocket. Walk in this, well, you know what? Yeah, I stole that T-shirt, but I don't deserve to do 25 a year to life for a T-shirt. They kept me in there 17 years.
So you guys should know that the 3 strikes law under Prop 36, if your 3rd strike now was for a nonviolent crime, you have the chance to come home before doing your 25 to life sentence. And you see a lot of guys like this man here that their 3rd strike was stealing a T-shirt, and no matter if it was violent, nonviolent, or not even serious at all, there's many counties that would strike you out, San Diego being one of them. So I'm glad you're home, and I'm glad you're paving the way. In terms of what you said about mentoring youth, the last criteria for our members, and today we have about 270 members of ARC, is giving back. And a huge way we give back is having our folks who have been through the system go into schools, elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, share their experiences and mentor youth in the community so they don't go down the same path. One thing I'd like to highlight is that we have a summer camp in Los Angeles called Camp Ubuntu, where every weekend they bring up an inner city school who have never been in the woods in the Angeles National Forest to spend a weekend at camp. And forever, their counselors were these like really happy white people that were there being the counselors to all the inner city kids. And then our ARC members started going up to camp and volunteering, and we've now become the counselors. So now when the inner city schools come up, their counselors are people that have been through the system, that have had that experience, and not only are we their counselors at camp, but then we work in the elementary, middle schools and mentor them at school.
Fantastic. We got time for one more question right over here.
Yeah, hello, my name is Carlos.
Hey, Carlos.
Hey, Carlos.
How you doing?
So good.
I spent more time in prison than I have in free society. I went in when I was 19, I came out when I was 40. And I thank God for the experience. Like Cherise said, I won't change it for anything. It helped me to open my eyes and to reform my ways and to become rehabilitated. However, in prison, through your program, I earned a degree. I did the ADOS, right? Became a certified substance abuse counselor. I came out a little over the year in the community college, you, Mr. President right here, received me, and I took 4 classes, hit the dean's list, honor roll, all that, right? Did really good. But the trouble was that the community and the family, everything was beautiful, but making the transition, like I took, a bunch of business classes in college, got the certification and everything, but they didn't teach us life skills like getting a driver's license, social security, how to fill out a resume, to how to be presentable, to go, to employer, so forth and etc. These simple things, I was very ignorant. I was groping in the darkness like Plato's cave, not knowing what it was. And I needed to be taught these simple things. And from doing a life sentence, people that come back out to the community, they need to, learn or secure some type of place that teach these life skills. Because I think it's essential and imperative that they learn this to make the transition more easier into society and secure a job and make a living. And you mentioned that, Mr. Scott, concerning that, and I think that when you did, you hit the nail on the head. That's what we do need, because like Siri said, we're passionate, we're determined, and we want to succeed. And I kept applying for jobs, and I couldn't get a job. Even with the little bit of education that I have, I still couldn't secure a job. It was only by the grace of God that somebody hired me and I started working, but it was hard and difficult. And the thing is, people doing a long duration of time, they need life skills, and they don't teach you that in college. They don't.
That's a really good point.
And I went through the Lighthouse, right? It's a transitional living, and through the training center, and those places do not provide life skills. They're like, you know what, you got to do AA, NA, anger management, classes of impulsivity. I've done decades of that and even taught those courses and facilitated in prison, but we don't need that when we come out. We don't need...
Carlos, I want to explain something to the crowd here. So this man right here was a lifer,
Yes,
right?
That's correct.
Which means he had a life sentence. He was supposed to die in prison. And under Governor Wilson and Governor Deukmejian and Governor Davis and Governor Schwarzenegger, no one paroles, and everyone was going to die in prison. And then came Jerry Brown.
Thank God for Jerry Brown.
And Jerry Brown said, we're being ridiculous, that this is purely political, that if you look at a lifer who served over 20 years in prison, when they get out from the parole board, and they studied 20 years of people getting out, they recidivated a 1% rate. They studied 800 people that got out over 20 years. 5 recidivated, all 5 for nonviolent crimes. If you ask the governor today, who is the safest person to let out of prison, who will never victimize anyone ever again, who will tell you a lifer that committed a serious and violent crime 20 years ago and goes through the parole process. So this man was not supposed to be in this room today. He went to the parole board, and for hours they held his feet to the fire and made him go back to that day where he was 19 years old and committed a very serious crime. They studied all 20 years he was in prison, where he completely and totally changed his life, or he wouldn't be sitting here today. And they made him show that he had plans out here, that he had reentry plans, he had a place to live, he had meaningful chance to get a job, that he wanted to go to school. And they took a chance on him, and he is now in school at City College, taking 4 classes, and I just want to give a round of applause to my boy Carlos.
Good job, Carlos.
All right. So we're actually...
Hey, we have made history tonight talking about this.
We're going to do one more question for the night.
Okay, we're going to have one more question.
One last one.
All right, one more word. Here we go.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you, everybody. And I thank you guys. I need help. And I'm not asking help from me. Just a quick qualify. I gangbanged for 20 years. I've been to prison, did it all, just like the 3 up there. And I've been involved with the prison population for over 16 years, with people just like me. And I have a participant right now who's going to get out on February 2nd. I have no resources for him. I've connected him with a few other resources in San Diego, but he has still nowhere to go. He has a few mental issues, but all the 35 clients I have are all adult parole. And it's like I'm chipping away at a block, but I need help. Scott, or if I could just talk to you for 5 minutes, is all I would need, and just to get some direction, because I need help. I am tired.
What's your name, brother?
Paul Houston.
Hey, Paul. Look forward to talking to you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Paul. I just want to say thank you so much to this fantastic panel. We need to give it up for them. We have learned an incredible amount tonight, and this is just the beginning, brother. This is just the beginning. Thank you so much, Scott, for being here. Jay, Cerise.
Thank you.
Thank you
Beto,
all.
thank you so much. And I want to give the last word to the president and CEO of the San Diego Foundation, Kathleen Mee.
Give it up for Kathleen.
Yeah, give it up for
Mee.
Kathleen. Thank you, Kathleen.